Councillors, I'm Saleh Baziruddin, and we voted for you to give us a helping hand, not the iron fist. Using the Notwithstanding clause would take away not just the charter and legal rights of the unhoused, but also their human rights. Fines in prison mean criminalization. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Our eyes are not deceiving us. The letter signed by a minority of the Ontario big city mayors calls for fines in prison for at least some of the unhoused for just trying to exist. How can cities give a helping hand when housing and health are provincial issues? Halifax and Kelowna have encampment areas where staff provide portable toilets and water bottles. It's not housing, but the cities make it more attractive to camp there than other places instead of criminalization. Otherwise, unhoused people are being driven literally underground, like in Edmonton, where an unhoused man was found in a cave. So what should you do to stop unhoused people camping where people are complaining? Nothing. And this is not just my recommendation. The United Nations says that in its report on the criminalization of homelessness and poverty. It says even if people refuse emergency shelter, they should not be punished because that would be punishing them for the state's failure to comply with international human rights law. This isn't me, it's the UN Special Rapporteur. In one of your municipal councils, the mayor asked, what do you do to stop people who refuse treatment? The answer again, nothing. From the United Nations report, there are complex reasons why people refuse treatment or emergency shelter and why treatment may not meet their needs. It's no surprise the UN report says vagrancy laws can be traced to the ongoing legacy of colonialism, slavery, and apartheid. The UN report says criminalization costs multiple times what housing does and just makes a revolving door between prison and the street. Unhoused people can't comply with laws that criminalize them because they're just trying to exist. The Ontario Big City Mayors, as a group, rejected asking for invoking the Notwithstanding clause, but it's telling that the minority of mayors who did, in their letter, invoked the U.S. Supreme Court decision. But that decision wasn't unanimous. The dissenting opinion by those who weren't picked by Trump, written by Justice Sotomayor, said punishing people for their housing status is, quote, cruel and unusual, end quote, for what is a biological necessity, not a crime. Those are the U.S. Supreme Court justices we should be looking at, if any, not the Trump appointees. It's no exaggeration to say the iron fist, or tough love, as some are calling it, has a smell of fascism because it's pandering to the privileged at the expense of the basic existence of the most marginalized. The region's latest homelessness count showed 28% of Niagara's unhoused are Indigenous, and your own report called for, quote, culturally sensitive, end quote, solutions, not overriding their human rights. Thank you.